Hey everyone, what's up? This is Ben with the Tiger's Den, coming back with a little bit more Tome, or Tales of Maj'Eyal, or Tome 4, or whatever you call it. I missed it this last Tuesday, I apologize for that. Was a little bit under the weather, and kind of crashed and forgot that it was Tuesday at some point. So, anyway, but Chris has been rocking it with the Luigi's Mansion streams lately, so that's cool. But, yeah, figured that while we're waiting for, the Magic Ban List update to happen, oh, I just got an email that I'm streaming. I should close my email so you don't get notifications. But yeah, so I figured that while we're waiting, let's play some other really cool games. So here we are again. Let's make sure we've got desktop audio. Sounds good. And let's jump into it. So, this is going to be a more character class spoilery stream than before, because we are going to be playing one of the unlockables. This is an unlockable from the Ashes of Uruk expansion, which I actually don't remember if that one is free or you have to pay for it. The base game itself is free, with some quality of life things you can purchase. Actually, it's just you pay one. It's like $14 to unlock all the quality of life stuff, and I think that the expansions are actually paid. Not 100% sure on that, but anyway, so this is from the first major expansion called Embers of Uruk. Uruk being the demon lord who is on/is a giant meteor above the world of Eyal, and we are one of his servants. Or were one of his servants. We will break out of his servitude first thing that happens here. So, if you if you're really spoiler averse for unlocks and things like that, you'll be seeing those in here. So you can just watch the previous Tome video maybe, or watch the subsequent one if you're watching the VODs. All right, so let's see which one it is. Defiler. There's so many classes in this game. These aren't classes. These are categories, and then each one has multiple classes within it. So yeah, there's a ton of classes in this game. So, Doombringer. Weapon in hand and sheathed in flame, a Doombringer is a terrifying force in combat. Doombringers are engines of war, cleaving and burning their way through entire armies. The most powerful Doombringers can harvest the full power of their demonic ties and transform themselves into a giant demon. The most important stats are strength and magic. So we're going to get +4 strength, +2 magic and constitution, +1 cunning, and then an additional 3 life per level on top of our baseline. So the undead classes, or the undead races in this, are like playing on hard mode a lot of the time because you can't get access to some really useful infusions. So we're going to be skipping those. I think the ones that I like the most, I haven't played a lot of this class, just a little bit. But the ones that I've liked the most, I really like Ogre, generally. They have some really strong abilities, and they get an extra infusion, which is like the replenishable potions. And those are very, very powerful and very limited in terms of how many you can use. So they're very good. Dwarf is a pretty good all-arounder. The Shalore, the High Elves, recently got a significant nerf, if I'm recalling correctly, mostly to their... Actually, I don't think they were nerfed so much as the other races were brought up to their level, from what I have seen. Because it used to be that Shalore was pretty much the right choice, virtually no matter what. Because they had an incredibly powerful racial, and their experience penalty was actually lower than most, even though it was 25%. Most things had 25 to 35, I believe. So you'll see, Thalora used to have 35% experience penalty, now it's 0%. Not really much else changed about them from what I can see from the latest patch. But I think what I'm going to do here, actually, is... So for human, there are 2 subspecies. There is Higher and Kornak. Higher are, the high humans, a little bit more magically adept, and then Kornak is, your general, lowly individual. And I think I'm going to go with Kornak here, because in my little bit of playing around with this class before I did this stream, it seemed like I really, really wanted a couple of early category points, because you can use those to open up new trees, like new whole talent trees, and to open up new inscription slots. And I felt like I really needed those inscriptions, and I really needed those categories. So Kornak, their big thing is that they get 1 category point at the very beginning of the game, which nobody else gets. That's basically what they get. So, inherently very adaptable race, and as such they gain a talent category point. Others gain 1 at levels 10, 20, 36, and both a class and generic talent point at birth and every 10 levels. So we're going to get extra class and generic talent points, and also the 1 category point at the very beginning. And also new in this patch is we have little character customization. There's nothing, like, it's not Skyrim or Inquisition or anything like that, but they've got some decent things. So let's yeah, let's go with the let's go with that one. Sure. We can do skin tone too. I think there's kind of like a reddish. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'll look good with our effects. And then we also have a bikini / mankini we can put on. That's an achievement unlock. I think we'll just do the normal undies. We're going to be wearing armor anyways. So we're not going to see it. And then I really like the weird names the random name generator comes up with. So Onmari, Bredil, Nili. How about, yeah, Ilna. That's a really that's a good random string of characters put together for a fantasy game. Sure, all right. So previously when I did Tome, I didn't actually read all of the lore bits that came up, but I am going to read them for the prologue here because it does shine a lot of interesting light on the demons in this game, and I think the demons are one of the coolest parts of the game in terms of the lore. Okay, so that'll just be for the starting zone for the most part. So let's see what we've got. So this is kind of our main attack here. It costs stamina, which is we have two different resources. We have stamina and Vim with this class. Stamina comes back slowly over time. Vim does not. We have to either kill creatures or use abilities to restore our Vim. And this is a way of getting Vim back while also doing a bunch of damage. So this is a very good ability to start out with. I also really like these two talents together. So we have Incinerating Blows and Burning Sacrifice. So Burning Sacrifice, actually, Incinerating Blows lets us deal fire damage over time when we hit someone. And then we have a 25% chance to do a big burst of damage whenever we hit someone. Then Burning Sacrifice makes it so that when we kill an enemy, we get another free attack. And then that always triggers Incinerating Blows for additional damage. And it stuns everyone that it hits. That only happens every 5 turns, though. So I really like getting a bunch of points into Incinerating Blows and then triggering lots of Burning Sacrifices, because you can really quickly clear out big, dangerous rooms that way. I played 3 Doombringers for a few, like 10 to 20 levels before this, and I found that my biggest weakness was really tough elites that I couldn't kill really quickly. So I think I'm going to be putting a lot of points into this tree here, where we have Fiery Torment here. That's a damage multiplier for us, and then we can do these things that deal lots of damage, and we have Reckless Strike, which is huge damage, but we take a bunch of damage off of it. And then down here we just have a bunch of things that amplify our damage even further. The Fear Fire tree actually gives us some really good, like we can cleanse statuses from ourselves. This gives us a really strong engage, but we already have 2 other engages, actually 3 other engages, so this one is not as necessary in my opinion. This removes statuses from us, but costs us health because we're cauterizing the wounds or cauterizing the effects. This is just an AoE effect, and then this is kind of fiddly. I'm not 100% sold on this talent, but from Wrath we're going to get big AoE damage. We get another engage here. This is a what does this one do? Oh yeah, we get extra attacks. Oh, my phone's going off. I should. I'm getting a phone call from potential spam. It's nice when your phone's got your back like that. All right, let's put you on Do Not Disturb. Thank you for the reminder, spammer. So yeah, this one, we get crit multiplier, and we always crit after we kill something. And then this just buffs all of our abilities. I'm not going to read everything, but the more points you put in this, the more powerful like all of your go-to spells get. So another one of the strong things about this guy is that we have this Fiery Grasp. Oh no, not Fiery Grasp. Abduction. And this is one of the strongest engages in the game. It lets us really safely just grab someone and yoink them to us. So that's another thing we're going to want to put points into. And then this is one of our engages, so we'll put a point into there. This tree I think is very bad. And this is actually really cool. I only put 1 point into this tree ever, and it's always this point right here. But it lets us just walk through walls for 5 turns now. 6 we put another point into, which I won't. But it's really when we get like a movement infusion and we can move at like 7 times speed for a turn. This just lets us completely disengaged from virtually anything. Unless we're in like a vault where we can't go through the walls. So anyway, our main stats are our strength and our magic. We want to put points into constitution when we can to get our hit points up, and to take thick skin, which gives us % damage reduction, which is very strong in this game, because most of the time when you die, it is because you got one shot out of nowhere. Actually, it's usually because you did something stupid. But if you weren't doing something stupid, it's probably because you got one shot out of nowhere, and that's probably because you didn't have thick skin. This is a really good starting talent, I've found. It just gives us a nice little crit multiplier, or crit bonus. And like I said, that's a thing that, our not being able to kill things fast enough is one of the things that often kills us. I tried going really heavily into this tree in my last couple of games, because it does debuff your enemies really quickly, or really powerfully, but I found that it takes so many turns to set this up that it's not really worthwhile, and it takes so many points to really get it to the point where it's doing relevant things. So I'm going to leave that one for now. We don't have a racial tree because we're playing Kornak, so we get our extra category point right here. So I'll put 1 point into Dismember. I'm probably going to leave it at just 1 for now. Now, I also really like having Pacification Hex, because this will let us daze a bunch of enemies, although it seems like it often gets resisted, which is unfortunate. But it's a decently sized daze, and then also these abilities that we unlock are pretty good. So let's get our point into Burning Sacrifice, because as I said, that's a really good talent. Let's look at prerequisites for the talents we're going to need later. It looks like mostly we just need strength and then magic for down here. So let's bump up our strength a little bit and then take 1 magic, so that we can start getting closer to this, which we just need 1 more for now. And then I think that I like... Yes, I like putting a couple points into here, I think, because this will make the radius of our fire damage bigger when this procs. This will be something that we want to invest in, but we don't have really big Vim problems yet, and I would rather get this AoE clear, which is also giving us damage, instead of getting the damage with Vim. This restores life, though, too. Okay, well, that's going to be the next thing we invest in, probably. Finally, we have this category point, so I'm going to right away spend it to unlock another inscription slot. We don't have a thing to put in it yet, but I could unlock one of these categories, but I don't have the points to really invest in it yet. Oh, and they take level 10 anyways, so that wouldn't even do anything yet. So yeah, alright, so done with that. Alright, welcome, I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing this name. Aelna, we'll go with that. You do not remember much of your life before you were on this burning continent floating in the void between worlds. You've been helping demons happily participating in their experiments to shatter some sort of shield preventing them from taking their righteous vengeance on Maj'Eyal. You are being taken by your handler to the torture pits to help them figure out how to cause the most pain to those on Maj'Eyal when you hear a roaring above you. You look up and see a burning meteor flying closer, and the demon's spells failing to divert its course. It lands near you, knocking you off your feet with its shockwave and killing your handler instantly. As you recover, and your platform of searing earth splits from the main continent, your old memories flood into your mind, and you come to your senses. The demons are out to destroy your home. You must escape! ! Because proofreading in this game, it's a little bit spotty sometimes. Alright, so where should I have my face now? I think I'm going to put my face over here for the moment. There we go. Alright, so here we are. Oh, okay, I got attacked immediately. Let's set up our hotbar here. So as a Kornak, we will have a healing infusion, a regeneration infusion, and a wild infusion, so we can heal over time, heal instantly, and cure a physical ailment on ourselves. We're already taking a fair amount of damage, so I'm just going to... Hey, what's this? Oh, that's Wraith Form. I'm just going to hit my regeneration infusion, and then start burning this guy down with our direct damage stuff. Alright, so one of the things to watch out for in this area, this is one of the harder starting areas in my experience, although I think it was made easier at some point. And part of it is that there's these teleporting imps everywhere that are super obnoxious, and then these Minotaur-like things that will charge in on you. So it's hard to chase down the imps, and they're hitting you from a range, and then these guys are... I mean, that guy you saw earlier is like pulling us around, and then the other guys are charging us and dazing us, so can be very dangerous just making it from point A to point B, which is why I'm being very meticulous about my movements here. It's also really good to be able to charge these guys so that they can't hit you with their pull ability like that, which deals a fair amount of damage. And also so that the Minotaur guys can't charge you first. Now, interestingly, okay, so this guy, this thing is not a demon. This is an elemental, a void elemental called a Losgoroth. The elementals in this game have awesome names. So these guys will actually fight the demons if they're around demons. But of course, at the moment there are none. So they're not gonna help us kill a common enemy here. Okay, yeah. So see, I was dazed for a minute there, and then I was hit multiple times while I was dazed. So I took a bunch of damage. So I'm actually gonna hit both of my infusions here to try to survive the incoming damage, and we level up. Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to put one more point into here so that I can unlock these things. Let's see, for our generic point, we can't get combat accuracy or weapon mastery yet, so see, I don't think that this ever gets bigger, unfortunately, which is sad, but I think for now we're going to keep putting into here, because this will debuff our enemies when we crit, and also give us additional crits. And that'll synergize really well, actually, with this, which gives us free crits whenever we kill something. So that will let us apply this over and over. And then, alright, so this gets us up to radius 2 on this ability, which is great, because that'll help us clear rooms faster. And then I think we can start putting points into Draining Assault, or maybe a point or two into Burning Sacrifice. I don't remember. There's not a ton of scaling on Burning Sacrifice, so it gives you kind of slightly less in terms of returns. Alright, let's get up to 18 strength, so that next level we can take this again. Although we'll probably actually take Draining Assault, but whatever, we're going to want that strength anyways. We are on Nightmare again. I actually meant to play this on normal, because it's a little harder for me not to die when I am streaming. And also, I've been having a harder time getting back into this game and remembering how to play it and how not to die. Also, just playing class that I'm not familiar with. There's that daze again. I often do like putting a couple points into our charge ability early on. Just that baseline one in the combat tree, or in the techniques tree, this one. Because it lowers the cooldown while increasing the range, but it we end up having so many engages that I never really want to keep many points in there, so what I'm probably going to do is actually juggle points, where you can, because you can take out the last few points you've invested into any or of any type of talent point. We can do what's called juggling talents, where we like, put some points into... Actually, I'm going to do it right now. So I've put some points into these things. I'm going to take this point out and put it back in, because I might not want this talent later if I have enough engages, and this is the weakest one that we have. So now, because I can take out the last few points that I put in, this is the most recent point. So I will have longer before that gets locked into place now. Alright, so we are currently dazed, but that will end when we take damage. Ooh, wow, that was a ton of damage. Alright, so instant heal plus heal over time. Kill that guy. Good, good. And you can see when we kill something, we get that little swirly effect around us. That's our this thing. Incinerating Blow. Or no. No, it's this one. Burning Sacrifice. You can... I actually maxed out Burning Sacrifice and Incinerating Blows last time, because... oh, right. Let's hit this. Okay. You clutch your head. Entering the next floor, memories of your imprisonment flood back to you. Alright, bring on the next one, says the ruby-skinned leader. A few small green and black things mop up a pile of muck that used to be a dwarf, and you move to the front of the line and stand where he used to be. On the other side of the room, another Kornak stands on an identical platform. This is exciting. You've been specifically chosen as a test subject. You hope you will find them something effective and agonizing, and look forward to the pain to come. A green imp, a little more mutated and knobby than the rest you've seen, stands on your side of the room and grins at you with anticipation. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read this better. On the other side, a more normal imp approaches your counterpart. Control group, go! The normal retchling... that's a type of demon. The normal retchling leaps on the Kornak's face, clutching it tight as a torrent of acid oozes from its skin, then lets go. The red imp looks at his melting flesh, jots down some notes, then mutters, and pain blocks off. The Kornak's smile vanishes, and he clutches his face and lets out a howling scream, collapses, and begins writhing on the floor. The red imp looks down again, gives a bored sigh, and takes some notes. That's enough. Pain blocks on. Patch him up. The Kornak stops moving, stands up, and smiles again, the acid continuing to eat away at his flesh until a pipe in the floor douses him with some sort of chemical. Another red imp mutters something and waves his hand before taking his hand and waves his hands before taking his hand and leading him off. And you see his horrible wounds gradually healing. Experimental group, go. With speed you can't even process until it's already on you, the mutant retchling leaps onto your face. You feel no pain as its acid leaks onto your torso, although you do feel an odd sensation of your skin layers beginning to dissolve. The imp leaps off again. Apparently it missed your eyes, because you can see the red imp looking somewhat disappointed. Structural damage subpar. Okay, pain blocks off. You know you're not supposed to scream during the next part. You scream. You scream harder than you have in your life, to the point where you think you might be tearing your vocal cords apart. The pain is stronger not just than any pain you've ever felt, but any sensation you've ever felt. You fall to the ground and claw at your skin, tearing off bits as you try to get the acid off. You struggle and flail, instinctively grabbing at anything that could help you, even though you know there's nothing in reach that could. Alright, nice. Pain blocks on. And just like that, the pain vanishes. Your skin still bubbles, but that horrible pain is gone. And even though your throat isn't sore. Clean him and patch him up. Pain amplifying qualities, significant improvement, recommended breeding with low pain, high corrosion specimens. A shower of unidentifiable goo washes over you and your skin stops bubbling. Your handler takes your arm and leads you away, muttering a healing spell under his breath, and your scars slowly start to fade into smooth skin once again. You hope they aren't too harsh on you for your screaming. But the way that imp spoke, you must have helped him learn something. You grin from ear to ear as you leave the room, hearing the red imp yell, "Next!" as the door closes behind you. You shudder. Okay, so, as you can see, kind of unusual demons. I actually kind of get almost like a, you know, I just put you on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why. Must be getting repeated calls. But yeah, I kind of get like a Diamonds from Steven Universe vibe almost, but you know, a lot more gore and all that from the weird seedy stuff, to put it mildly, that happens here. What is this? Is this supposed to... I think that's a graphical glitch that I have not seen before. Oops, we don't have our charge off cooldown yet. So yeah, as I said, very not stock standard demons, and there's a lot of backstory behind why they hate Maj'Eyal so much and why they're on this giant meteor, which perhaps we will see some of in this playthrough. Okay, so this will not keep increasing in range, but the other numbers will keep going up. This one is just giving us extra damage on the procs. I'm just going to put the point into here, and we can start getting extra healing, extra damage, and extra Vim. Vim shouldn't really be a problem for us for a while till we have more things that we're spending it on, but it is very nice to... Oops. It is very nice to have that there. Actually, let's leave this as the last point in here, so if we want to take this out later, we can. I like debuffing on crits like that and getting higher crit chance. Yeah, diminishing returns are though, so only 2% more crit on our next level. Okay. Oh, and then yeah, we're doing pretty good on our main stats here. So I'm going to put some points. Actually, in one level, we'll be able to start taking the higher level things here. So I want to look at if I want more magic for that. It's actually pretty... the Fiery Aegis is actually a decent shield for lower levels when you don't have too many defensive abilities. But I'm going to want to be putting stuff into Fiery Grasp / Abduction before that. So... yeah, I think I actually will buff this, though, for when we want to take this, that we have it within range. Ooh, is this a Oh, this is a lore item, right? Oh, geez. Okay, this is a huge one. All right, so yeah, sure. Let's read it. If you're watching the VOD, you can skip by it if you don't want it. But like I said, I wanted to read the lore in this place because it's stuff that you don't get anywhere else in the game, and it tells you a lot about the world and what's going on here. You see here a pile of strange tablets all piled up in a nice orderly stack. You remove the top one and study it. Your finger slips across a square in one corner and strange sentences start playing through your mind. You struggle to make sense of the unfamiliar words and concepts in your thoughts. Many moon craters after he planted us and retired, the father awoke from his cocoon to see us rattling. He was shocked at our wilted state and asked why we rattled. We told him about our shaking we had to suffer through, the way the planet was jammed up, and how although our peas in a pod had plugged the leaks to keep the beads from falling apart, the brooms kept sweeping our dirty business away, and there wasn't enough empty room to keep the beads from cracking. There's a large square on the tablet. You press your hand to it, and suddenly you see a desert planet ravaged by constant dust storms. You feel the futility of a short, greenish thing as he looks at his ruined crops. You feel the wrath of a red-skinned humanoid as he rushes at a large horde of small onyx creatures, a sword in one hand and a fireball in the other. The image disappears, and you remove your hand. As you remove your hand. Father gave us his tools, and after we tripped the janitors, he had us shake gently. But instead of rattling, we were making music, only cracking the beads that made us out of tune. Our beads grew stronger. We learned how to use tools of different colors than what Father gave us. The Father loved to hear our music, and we were grateful. He was there to compose for us when we needed. Soon, we were writing our own music, and didn't need to rattle anymore. Then the Father retired. Another large square. You see a wonderful, loving Father descending on the planet. Desert turning to lush forest with his touch. You worship him, and your green and onyx ruby brethren, all different shapes and sizes, united for the first time in appreciating all the good he's done for you. For the first time in ages, you know where your next meal is coming from, and you need not fear others killing you for your farmland, nor the dust storms. He holds the corpses of some reclusive earth mages in his hand, the source of the storms, and you would be angry at them, but you can only feel happiness for the future to come. You and your brethren start competing in an organized fashion, occasionally in fights again, but even when you die, you know it's for the good of the planet. An age later, you and your brethren are smarter, stronger, and far happier than before, living in paradise. You remove your hand an instant later, and the feelings of worship and admiration drain from you. Eventually, the egg weeds came. We tried to crack the beads, but nothing happened. They did not try to crack us, but instead promised us even more wonderful sheep music than what our father had given us, under the condition that we let them shatter him. We refused, but we reached a nasty pod together. We'd mute? Pod? The father with the tools he gave us, leaving him a lazy carpenter, and proving our pod was shut with the egg weeds. The father wouldn't be rattled or cracked by this. He wouldn't even know. The eggweeds were pleased, and smeared their egg suckers on our planet, letting us trade with pods from other planets from all the kinds of gardens. We tasted new food, learned new tools, and some fancy types of new beads came to our garden. We felt a little noise about Father, but he was not noisy, and wouldn't hear any sounds. The eggweeds acted as our pod peas. We treated them with great listening, even as they slipped from the pod and we could no longer attend each other's concerts. You touch the panel on the next page. A creature appears before you, stepping out of a massive fortress. It has an egg-shaped body and limbs like 4 tendril weeds. You hate this thing with all your being, and you know you did not at the time. Although you know you did not at the time. They say they want Father dead, and can offer you a great magic technology in return. You loathe to consider the idea, but the fortress and weapons make you wonder if their offer is truly optional. You consider waking Father to ask for help, but worry that he even cannot stand up to the eggweeds. Ultimately, you decide to seal him in his sleep, leaving him harmless but unharmed, unconscious until further intervention. The eggweeds begrudgingly accept this resolution and keep up their end of the bargain. They give you strange, powerful artifacts and build portals on your world that let you pass through into strange worlds, more incredible and beautiful than you could possibly imagine, and filled with other races who have been given these gifts and seek to trade. You taste new foods, learn new magic, hear new music, and discover more beauty than you have in your entire history. If not for the pangs of guilt, life could not have been better. Only when you remove your hand and the images start clearing from your head do you recognize the eggweeds as the Share Tool. Who could those be? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later. There was a great noise. It got louder. It got louder. It got louder. It got louder. It got louder, etc. It was eardrum bursting. There's another panel. You did not touch it, but as you reach to put it away, a finger briefly brushes across it. Starvation, burning, suffocation, misery, fury, and sheer agony rage across your mind for what you know to be a tenth of a second, but feels like half a minute. Your ears are still ringing as you move on to the next square. The egg suckers were a trap, a discord planted by the eggweeds to crack us all, and only to cause hairline fracture to their own garden. Their wrong note turned our planet to cacophony, and nearly all of us fell out of the pod. The apple was peeled, and the fragment of our shell floated in the ocean. Our handyman acted quickly to give the peel and our garden tempo, and would have failed had the noise not woken up Father. We were sorry. We were so sorry. Our pod was rotten and we knew it. We should never have planted it. Father forgave us for our spoiled barrel and fertilized our garden. It was still burning and salted, but by breaking the toolbox, we could still plant seed on it. We could not bloom, but we could hold a note, just one note. Father's still devouring all his will to nailing our garden together. It will splinter and wilt if he stopped for even a second. Bless the Father in his altruism. Bless the Father. We are so sorry. You unsteadily touch your palm to the next panel. You stand on a charred, bubbling cliff and see a black, star-dotted expanse above and below you. Your feet are constantly searing. The mages could give you oxygen and convert ambient magic into caloric energy, but they couldn't undo the terrible magical flames that rage on the blown-off continent, or the eternal pyre of your entire planet. Nearly everyone you know is dead, and your scryers tell you that the home of the eggweeds has suffered only minor damage, and the others you've contacted through portals were blown apart instantly. Your home only survives from the constant effort and concentration of Father, who is exerting every bit of magic he can to keep the shattered fragments from spinning off into the void. There is no part of you that does not feel deep regret. You would commit suicide if you did not hope that there was a way you could apologize to Father, work as tirelessly and selflessly as he is. The regret drains your hand and leaves you, and as your hand leaves the panel. We asked Father what song to sing to make him dance again. He told us, rattle the eggweeds, and until their rattle the eggweeds until their very last bead falls out. We know our orchestra hall, and we will crash the party. For our sake, giving us a new garden to replace the one the eggweeds or their sprouts stole from us. For Father's sake, to let him retire once again, we're planted once more. For everyone's sake, to avenge the spilled beads from the brush fire and bring silence to the eggweeds and any weeds they planted. There's another panel. You touch it briefly. You hate yourself. You hate Eyal. You hate the Share Tool. You hate anything and everything around you. You want to destroy it, letting the souls of trillions know that justice has been done. You want to purge not just the Share Tool, but anything that has ever been close to them. Elves, halflings, orcs, humans, all could carry their taint. All survived, while everything else that used a portal burned. If there's even a possibility that a single Share Tool remains on Eyal, it must be purged in blighted fire. Justice has to be done to Eyal. You remain angry at nothing in particular for 10 minutes after you remove your hand. Father helped our carpenters make power tools from his blessed fix-it wrenches, which could transform us to a shake harder. The peas dripped with acid. The beets gained tremendous speed. The peppers fused their hands with noisy dirt to sling it at those who originally made the racket. The blooming is a little noisy, but nothing compared to the eggweed's stench. We will either be a handyman or wilt in the sun. Press the next panel to grab toolbox. Be a handyman. You know all too well what the next panel does, and memories of being chained and bound while retchling presses to your forehead flash through your mind. Despite a fading compulsion, no force in Eyal could convince you to touch the panel. Okay. So, there's the history of Mal Rock. You heard it here first. The demons did nothing wrong. The demons clearly did everything wrong. Everyone is pretty much terrible. The Share Tool, maybe more or less terrible, but pretty problematic. Cannot close on this guy. The methods that the demon's using, pretty terrible. Their backstory, pretty awful. Although there's that mention in there about the portal and the fire coming through it, which that's a plot point that we have run into once or twice on other characters here. Those who watched the previous Tome video will know that that is the spell blaze that they are talking about, which was a huge cataclysmic event that pretty much messed up all of Maj'Eyal and everything else that was connected to the Share-Tool portal network. Well, I believe that the Share-Tool were absent by the time the spell blaze happened. Pretty sure, in fact. So we have all these demon statues here. You can touch them and sometimes cool things happen and sometimes terrible things happen, and I'm just not going to risk it. Oh, I didn't have my charge off of cooldown there. That is a miscalculation on my part. Oops. A little bit of a misclick there. I wonder if we've got that plus sign door over here. I wonder what's up with that. Alright, so at this point, we are doing pretty well here. We've gotten burst pretty hard a couple of times, but just being able to charge to close the distance, and actually I'm going to juggle this point again. Just being able to charge to close the distance with our enemies has been really, really helpful here. So that we're getting fewer statuses inflicted on us. Just gonna see what happens if I can get up here, and it's just gonna... Oh. This game actually does, I'm pretty sure, have a... have like an ASCII style of UI that you can use. I don't have it enabled, obviously. More memories rush into your mind. It's your lucky day, Ilna, your handler says as he hands you a large glowing crystal. You're too cooperative to stay in testing any longer. Today you're getting promoted to research assistant. You're nearly beside yourself with joy. Now, we'll need to do a short process first. Fireproofing wards here, loyalty reinforcement there, standard issue alteration, but mostly just linking your consciousness to this, he says, pointing to the crystal. With this thing, everything you see, smell, hear, taste, or feel gets fed directly into this little old beauty. Now, not just that either. Wherever you go and whatever you think, we'll have it saved for future reference. You're going to help them learn so much. Just step on this plate here, hold your arms like this so I can get the bindings in place. That crystal is how they're keeping track of you, and it has most of what you've helped them discover trapped within it. If you break it, you'll be able to escape their notice for the first time since you arrived here, allowing you to get away without them finding you again. And as an added bonus, you'll undo most of what you helped them accomplish. You need to destroy it, then flee for your life. Alright, I think we're out of the lore dumps now, so I'm going to take my glasses off again so we don't have the eye ghosting problem that they sometimes lead to. Oh, that's not good. And that is the danger of initiating with a charge. That... Alright, let's get some of these guys stunned. There we go. Much better. If you run into a room and there were enemies that you couldn't see there, you might just die. And that's why charges are not necessarily the best way to open up in combat. And that's why, despite that... this talent down here, the Fearscape portal, this is a very strong engage, but it's yet another you have to rush into your opponent to use it. And that's just, you know, very dangerous if you don't know what is lurking there. And Fearscape portal does actually let you see, like it gives you sort of like telepathic vision on all sorts of creatures, all the creatures that are near you. But, come on. But the problem with that is that it gives you that after you use the charge, at which point that's not really when you want to be able be able to know where the things are. Okay, so if we want to take this can give us an 84 power shield, so that'll absorb 84 points of damage, which is pretty good. Our hit points right now is 174, so that's like a 50% hit point increase that lasts for 4 rounds. But I think I'm actually going to take Abduction first, because this is so strong. It deals a ton of damage, and then we get to hit them again for increased damage after that initial hit. And it brings them right next to us. So I'm going to start with this one. It does cost both stamina and Vim, so I'll have to be keeping an eye. And actually, I can... I don't know if I want to pull 1 point out of here for right now. It's also juggle this point. Oh, but I can't... okay, never mind that. I can't get enough strength for this and enough magic for this level, so I'll have to wait a level on that. Okay, so we'll go Abduction, and then 1 generic point I'm going to put into Surge of Power. So this is great because its usage speed is 0% of a turn, so it happens immediately, and no one else gets to do anything when we do it. I'm going to juggle this point too. So this is use your stored Vim to supercharge your body, recovering 20% of your maximum stamina, which is 29 right now, and 26% of your maximum life, which is 34. Additionally, you'll be able to survive your HP going under 0 down to negative 52 for the next 8 turns. This does not take a turn. The values will increase with your spell power. So these will go up as we put points in, and as we get more magic, which will increase our spell power. So that's all very good. It's kind of like a mini heroism infusion for those who have played this before or watched the previous one, where the heroism infusion gives you... for a bunch of turns, you don't die until you go down to like negative several hundred hit points, and then when it ends, you go back up to 1 if you're under 1 hit point. Let's move out of the way of that. Projectile. And you're getting to see, even with just a couple points into those talents, how much extra like AoE damage we're able to deal with the with those talents that we've taken. Ooh. Okay, Survivor's Brass Lantern. So this is the first thing that's actually... Oh, well, I guess we have a rough cap here, so that's better than nothing. So this will give us a little healing mod, some physical save, which will help us not get hit by physical conditions, and then the usual light radius. So let's just go in here. For those of you who missed the last one, this is our transmogrification chest. Everything that we pick up goes in here, and then when we leave the level, it will get turned into gold, so we don't have to go, like, run to town over and over. And then anything that we want, we can just pull it out and equip it, and then it won't get transmogged. And we can transmog anything from our normal inventory with the click of a button. So lots of nice quality of life features in this game. Ooh, that was not nice. To just, cut down on the tedium that a lot of roguelikes have. Which again, I love roguelikes, and especially this kind of traditional style, but there are definitely some things that could be made quicker and faster in them, and that is one of them. Alright, so this is the control crystal, so we're going to hit this thing, and then we have the planar controller here. So this is a boss, 581 hit points, notice we have 174, so its stats are way higher than ours. And this guy can give you a lot of trouble a lot of times, so we'll see how we fare with our current build. I think I'm just going to start with the Abduction, because that deals so much damage. And then we can restore the Vim that we use with our 1 ability. Alright, so we are at half health already, so I'm going to hit a heal instantly and a start regenning button. And we've taken it down by 15%. So, haven't managed to hit it very hard here. We might have to do some hit and run. It's also created this this area damage around it. But, okay, so now that we're healing, we're looking a lot better. And we might... Oh yeah, we got this guy. Alright, cool. Okay, so we get a bad item. Helm of Dwarven Emperors. Dwarven helm embedded with a single diamond that can banish all underground shadows. I don't think I've gotten that item before. And then, of course, the Rod of Recall. This is another one of those really nice... this is a tier 2 helmet already. Wow. Plus magic and willpower. Blindness, confusion, immunity. Sweet. Limited immunity, but... oh, this is Arcane Force stuff, so let's put that here. War X. Elm Staff. Okay. But yeah, so the Rod of Recall is another one of those really awesome convenience / quality of life things. So I'll take the portal out here. Oh god. I've got an alchemist escort already. This is not good. Well, this is only level 2, not 3, so the boss isn't here. Okay, so we're going to escort this alchemist. Hopefully they'll survive, and we'll get some talents and stuff off of them. We unlock the Hell Hath No Fury Like a Demon Scorn achievement. And, so yeah, we can click this button, and then 40 turns later, we just teleport out of the zone that we're in. So you can't use it to just, like, as an emergency escape, but you can definitely use it... Oh, good, the portal's right here. Let's abduct this guy, so that it doesn't shoot our guy down. You can use it, to, instead of having to walk all the way back through the zone, you can just get out using that. Alright, got a couple guys here, but again, you're seeing how much AoE damage we're able to deal with our talents, so we don't have to worry about getting swarmed. And there we go. So we escorted this guy to the portal, so now we get a perk of our choice. So, let's see. So, channel staff, that's a thing, these are things for, like, if you want to fight with a staff. We're not really doing that. We would rather fight with big weapons. Although I think there are actually builds for Doom. I don't know if they survived the patch, but I believe that there are really good builds where you do staff training. So we can get the Stone Touch spell, which is very powerful, but the problem is that it costs 60 mana, and baseline in this game, there's no way to regenerate mana. You need to have a talent that regenerates your mana or a rune, and it's not really worth it for us to take a rune just for this ability. So if you're a class that has mana already, this can be great. But if you don't, I think it's usually better just to take something else. So in this case, so we could also unlock the Stone Alchemy tree or the Staff Combat tree, but we're going to go with +5 magic because +5 magic is very strong for us. We've seen that we're gated. Actually, we gained 2 levels. We should probably... Oh, let's kill these guys and then we'll do our level gaining stuff. You're supposed to die when I run into you. There we go. Looks like it's time for some combat accuracy, given how badly that went. Okay, so, we have 3 class points on a generic point. Oh, because we hit level 5. At level 5, you get an extra generic point, or an extra class point, but no generic point. Every multiple of 5. Alright, so we've got Burning Hex. So this one I think is really good once you get a lot of points into it, but it's weaker in the early game. We can increase talent cooldowns, which will get much stronger in 2 points instead of just 1. And then, yeah, it can deal some extra damage. And it's got the same radius 2 ball that most of these things do. If I put another point in here, then what's it look like? Yeah, that keeps doing the same thing more or less. But, yeah, I believe that we want some combat accuracy here because we just missed a ton of times. And wolves have high defense, so they're hard to hit, but... And so yeah, now we have so much more magic than we need to hit our things right here. So we'll get this, so we have a nice little damage shield. The scaling on this is not very good per point, although it does scale up more as you start burning more people. So as we get more burn abilities, this will get better in that way. And I think I want to just start maxing out abduction, honestly. This ability is so powerful. So we need 22 for the next point into that. And then we can go to 24 and actually take a 3rd point, and then we have to be level 7 to get the next. Here, let's do this. No, that doesn't work. It's gonna be level 7 before we can get up to level 4 in abduction. But yeah, we're dealing 230% damage at a range. We've gone from range 5 to 8 now, and it costs stamina and Vim, but again, it's so powerful that that's fine. And then I think that because I have all the strength I need for the moment, I'm going to put 2 points into Constitution so we can get extra healing mod, get more max life, and start getting towards thick skin. We will want to get up to level 3 of heavy armor training at some point. But right now I think that we want to get combat accuracy. I want weapon mastery too, because most of our damage is weapon-based. Alright, we're going to stop reading all the lore now, because we've read a lot of these already anyways, in previous ones, and... most of the stuff isn't as interesting as the demon lore is. There's been a little bit of a... so, Tome has been updated a ton. It's over 10 years old at this point, I believe. And it's gotten pretty consistent updates over that time. And there's been kind of a pattern of Dark God, the creator, will, like, introduce an enemy... or like a villain or something like that and they'll just be like complete generic cardboard cutout villains, and then we'll go in later and add like a ton of backstory to them to flesh them out, make them more interesting. And a lot of them are actually community created. I'm actually going to go back one level here because we're on level 2 right now. So I'm going to clear out level 1 and then go to level 3 so we are a bit safer. Is there anything in here that's any good? No, we're finding really bad items for ourselves here. But let's go ahead and transmog all that. Alright, let's get back here a bit. Oops, not what I meant to do. One thing that I have liked about this class as I've played it is that I like classes that do some bump attacking, where you just bump into the opponent like this. But some of those classes are kind of on the boring and samey side after you play them for a little while. And this one I've felt is a really good mix of... Wow. God, I'm having a hard time kidding. Of bump attack and like interesting stuff to manage and fun abilities that proc and stuff like that. Alright. There's our next level up. How much strength do we need for this? We need 26 strength to get to level 3 of heavy armor training. And we're level 7 now, so in one more level we'll be unlocking the next level of stuff. What do we want right now? What does this one do again? Oh yeah, okay, good. Spell power, max Vim, and then we deal bonus damage equal to how much Vim, or what percent of Vim we have, which is very nice. This is a very strong tree overall, I've found. Could put another point into here. This would give us, we'd get a bigger maximum stamina buff. We would get back an extra 16 hit points, and then have 21, so that's like 35-ish effective hit points, which is pretty good. I do like putting points into here, but it's mostly for track, which it's going to take a lot of cutting for us to get up to that level. And cutting is good for us, but it's just a lower priority. Hopefully we'll find an escort that'll let us put a point into this, instead of having to keep pumping it ourselves. I think I'm going to put my point into heavy armor training right now, because nothing else seems like it's a huge must-have. And then in one level we'll be able to get 26 strength, and then we can start wearing heavier armor. Alright, and let's bump that again so that we can take abduction level 4. Actually, at this point, we've gotten most of what we want out of it, because now we're at 8 range, so the gains of that last point are pretty small. This is decent because it scales up in 3 different ways. This tree I don't find very good at all, except for that point. Alright, so this one pins, and it silences once you have 4 points in it, but that is a lot. So I think I might actually just put the point into here and get our damage shield buffed a little bit. Let's make sure that's... Yeah, let's swap the locations of these ones. Damage shields are very, very, very good in this game. Oh, did I... Oh, I forgot to juggle my rush. That's okay. I'm probably never gonna completely unlearn rush. Sometimes if I put extra points in it, well, actually, always if I put extra points in it, I like to juggle them. But having the 1 point in there for a, like, you know, once per combat thing we can do. All right, let's get this guy over here, or just kill him outright. That also works. All right. Oh, we found some really nice gloves here. So these are heavy armor gloves that give us extra crit chance and armor penetration. And oh no, they don't. It was bringing up the wrong thing apparently. Okay, so plus strength. What was it showing me? Oh, well, that's a big upgrade for our sword, because this will let us deal AoE acid damage. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. And these are one-handed weapons, so you know, we're using a two-handed weapon. We can use a shield now that we have 2 points in the armor proficiency. But, yeah, like I was saying before, the problem that I've had with this class has generally been can't kill the big things quite fast enough with the builds I've been going, so I'd rather build to deal more damage. And we don't really have the tools to be a great defensive class anyways, and we also don't have any talents that key off of using a shield like some classes do. Man, these guys are hard to hit. Okay, so here's Norgos. This is good because if we need to, we can just, like, turn into a ghost and fly over here, probably. So I'm actually going to lead Norgos in this direction. So that no one can get behind us, and then if I need to, I can just cut that way. Alright, so let's open with Abduction. Oh, it looks like it missed. That is unfortunate. Alright, keep an eye on our health here. Start taking some damage, so I will turn on the Regeneration Infusion. And Norgos is burning badly now, so I can put on a damage shield. It used to... Okay, so this is 158 damage. Most shields actually give you a little bar over here that shows you how much damage is remaining on your shield. Alright, that was pretty easy. Sludge Grip, so that's some leather gloves that give you willpower and cunning. Those are both good for us, but strength is better. Scorching Blast, Lantern of Focus. Ooh, this actually deals 12 damage and gives us 3 willpower. I think that's probably better than 10 healing mod. So yeah, let's put that on. Oh, and we have a willpower cloak here. It's not great for us, but it's better than nothing. I do find something kind of endearing about that RPG trope where, like, you look pretty reasonable at level 1, and by level 3 you just look like a complete clown. Because you're, like, wearing just random crap you've thrown together that looks ridiculous. Ooh, so we found a totem here that can summon a tentacle for us. So it will... Actually, we can just throw it on and look at what it does. I usually don't use these because they're not great, in my opinion, compared to other things you can have in that slot. But we have nothing else to put there right now, and, you know, it's fun to throw tentacles at people. So let's, like, throw a tentacle there. Yeah, dealt some damage. You know, you can use it to... They can soak some damage. That's probably the more relevant part of the damage they deal, is just putting down a summon there briefly. Oh yeah, so good thing I didn't try to escape this way from Norgos, because I would have run into a Poison Ivy there, and those things can deal a ton of damage, actually. Oh, we leveled up, and I didn't do anything. Okay, so we can't get Reckless Strike now. So do I want to pull a point for something so that I can put a point here? Survey says probably. Let's pull that point. And then go up this. So we do have a pin now, which is fine, but not great. And then Reckless Strike, which is just tons of damage. Really high stamina cost. So you can't spam it. I mean, it's got a 10-second cooldown too. But yeah, tons of damage, but it also take a quarter of the damage or a third of your current hit points, whichever is lower. And that's current hit points. So that's very important, because that means that, like, if you're at half health, you won't just bring yourself down to, like, 20%. You'll bring yourself down to, like, 35. Math is hard. I feel like I'm going to put this off for one level and take another point of accuracy, because I'm just having such a hard time hitting things. Actually, you know, we also got these two, didn't we? Yeah, okay, so that one's okay. Empathic Hex. This one is another one that if you put a lot of points into, it's great. But early on, not doing a whole lot. Domination Hex, you can just take something over for a few turns, so that's good. But yeah, for now I'm just going to take the point in combat accuracy. And then Abyssal Shield is one of the best reasons to take this tree, in my opinion. Actually going to float this point here. I like having the pacification hex, and I don't know if I want this third point in this. This gives you a lot of defensive benefits that are very strong. Yep. Sounds like folks are home, so might be wrapping up the stream pretty soon. Make it through the stream without dying, that's pretty good in this game, right? Who's there? Evie, who's there?
Hey, who's here?
Alright, oh yeah, and then I'll put some... Oh, hey, I can actually put my points into this. I was going to take 2 more levels till to get thick skin. That's okay. But yeah, I don't need the strength or magic right now, so I'll just do that. Got our survivability up. That healing mod, even just 2.3% healing mod, is so nice. And then we can hit the Rod of Recall and rest. And ooh, okay, so we got some boots there, so a little bit of cold resist. Physical crit resist is nice. Accuracy. And that's about all we got there that's relevant. Alright, there we go. So we made it through the starting dungeon and through the one after that. So, off to a good start. This is a really fun class to play, so I really enjoy, even if I've, died a couple times already, running through it again. It's just, seeing the big explosions go off when you kill things and getting all these cool defensive options and walking through walls to escape and stuff like that. It's really fun. So, that's going to wrap it for today. So, thank you so much for watching. This has been Ben with the Tiger's Den, playing some Tome 4 / Tales of Maj'Eyal. Really awesome, free, roguelike game that's been supported forever and is awesome. So you should totally check it out. But thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. Give it a like, subscribe if you liked it. Stay tuned for more content in the near future, and we'll see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.